October 4th here in Seoul, and I'm Kim Dami. We begin with these stories making the headlines at this hour. Starting with yet another round of Israeli airstrikes in Beirut. Israel's military said Thursday that it had struck Hezbollah's intelligence headquarters in the Lebanese capital. Oil prices jumped on U.S. President Joe Biden's comment on possible Israeli strikes on Iran's oil infrastructure. President Yoon will be off to Southeast Asia this weekend ahead of the annual summit of ASEAN countries taking place in Laos next week. He'll also be stopping by the Philippines and Singapore for state visits. North Korea on Friday morning flew yet another set of trash-carrying balloons to South Korea, in what is already the regime's 24th time doing so this year. Israeli military said it hit Hezbollah's intelligence headquarters in Beirut. U.S. President Joe Biden signaled possible Israeli strikes on Iran's oil facilities, which led to a spike in oil prices. Our Ishihu reports.
Large plumes of smoke rose from Beirut's southern suburbs on Thursday as multiple Israeli attacks struck the area, one of which targeted Hezbollah's intelligence agency. The Israel Defense Forces said in a statement that they attacked Hezbollah's intelligence headquarters, responsible for aggregating intelligence about Israel and its military. Lebanese state media NNA confirmed there were 3 airstrikes on the Lebanese capital. The strikes also flattened several residential buildings. This follows an earlier attack on Hezbollah's media office, also in southern Beirut. Meanwhile, the U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin said the U.S. was well-postured to defend U.S. personnel, allies, and partners in the face of threats from Iran and Iran-backed terrorist organizations. The Pentagon shared the message in a statement after Austin spoke to his Israeli counterpart on Tuesday, hours after Iran fired ballistic missiles at Israel. And the widening conflict in the Middle East is causing market worries with oil prices rising. Brent crude futures settled up over 5% on Thursday at $77.62 a barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures also settled up over 5% at $73.71. Both futures also hit intraday one-month highs. This is while market fears rise over the possibility of Israel targeting Iranian oil infrastructure in the near future. 이시후, Arirang News.
President Yoon will travel to Southeast Asia ahead of the annual summit of ASEAN countries next week. His trip begins Sunday and includes stops in the Philippines and Singapore. Our correspondent Oh Soo-young has more.
President Yoon will travel to Southeast Asia to forge a comprehensive strategic partnership with Southeast Asian nations and strengthen economic ties with the Philippines and Singapore. Yoon's office said the Korean leader's 6-day trip will begin on Sunday and finish off in Laos for the annual summit of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. He will first make a 2-day visit to the Philippines, where he will hold a bilateral summit with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and meet with members of the Korea-Philippines business community.
President Yoon will engage in active economic diplomacy to expand trade and investment cooperation between the two countries and support Korean firms' efforts to secure major infrastructure projects. The two countries will also discuss expanding cooperation in future-oriented areas such as supply chains, energy, defense, and maritime affairs.
Yoon's trip to Manila will mark the first state visit by a Korean leader in about 13 years and marks the 75th anniversary of Korean-Philippines diplomatic ties, serving as an opportunity to elevate the bilateral relationship to a new level. On Tuesday, the president will then begin his state visit to Singapore, Korea's second-largest trade and investment partner in ASEAN, ahead of their 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations next year. He will meet with the city-state's top political leaders, President Tharman Shanmugaratnam, Prime Minister Lawrence Wong, and Singapore's long-serving Senior Minister Lee Hsien Loong.
Having closely cooperated over the past 50 years, focusing on trade and investment, the two sides will expand into areas like artificial intelligence, digital technology, and advanced technologies. In response to global economic uncertainties, we will also strengthen cooperation on strategic and material supply chains in cutting-edge industries such as energy and biotechnology.
Yoon will also take part in the Distinguished Singapore Lecture Series organised by a leading think tank to introduce Korea's Indo-Pacific strategy, the country's cooperation with ASEAN, and the prospect for peace and prosperity in the region if his vision of Korean unification is achieved. He will expand on the topic at the meeting of ASEAN leaders in Laos. On Thursday, Yoon will hold a meeting with the 10-member bloc, then attend a +3 meeting of ASEAN with South Korea, Japan and China, with various bilateral summits on the side. Amid speculation, he may hold a bilateral summit with the new Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba. A presidential official said Japan hasn't yet confirmed whether Ishiba will be in Laos, but Seoul and Tokyo are discussing a possible meeting. Finally, on Friday, Yoon will attend the East Asia Summit of 18 Indo-Pacific countries, where he will present Korea's role as a global pivotal state in defending a rules-based regional order and once again share his unification doctrine. Throughout his trip, the president will aim to strengthen political and security cooperation with ASEAN, as well as trade, investment and strategic collaborations in high-tech areas. This will come as Korea and the regional bloc upgrade their ties to the highest level to form a comprehensive strategic partnership as they mark 35 years of dialogue relations this year. Oh Soo-young, Arirang News.
The Joint Chief of Staff said North Korea had launched what appeared to be trash-carrying balloons towards South Korea early Friday morning, just 2 days after sending more than 150 balloons. The military warned that the balloons may be headed towards northern Gyeonggi-do province and other parts of Seoul capital area, calling on citizens to avoid touching them. Friday's launch marks the 24th time the regime has sent balloons since late May. The JCS warned that it would take stern military measures should the regime cross the line with its ongoing trash balloon campaign or cause serious damage to the South Korean people. Asia's largest film festival, the Busan International Film Festival, is back for its 29th edition, with an OTT platform release as its opening night film for the very first time. For more highlights, let's turn to film critic Pierce Conran. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks very much for having me.
Thanks for joining us. So, BIF opening with an OTT platform release for the first time. Now, what does this mean? I mean, how significant is this?
It's definitely a choice that has gotten a lot of the tongues wagging in the industry. People are very, we're surprised to see a film like Uprising being selected as the opening title at Busan this year. I mean, it's always a good thing to have a big title be your opening film at a festival. Typically, we'll see that at Cannes or Venice. They like to have big titles opening their festivals. But with Busan, we've often seen more indie titles be the opening choices. I mean, perhaps the most famous film that ever opened the festival was Lee Chang-dong's second film, Peppermint Candy, back in 1999. There have been some commercial films in the past. There was the Hong Kong box office hit Cold War, had its world premiere here at Busan in 2012. But typically the films are much lower, and when or not much lower, just a smaller scale, shall we say, lower profile. And the Korean films that have screened here tend to be indie movies. So last year, Because I Hate Korea, from director Jang Kwon-jae, was the opening film. So Uprising is a much bigger movie than usual. And not only that, it's a streaming film. And some people are upset because Busan is supposed to be championing cinephilia, championing going to the cinema. And while you can watch Uprising in a cinema at this festival, no one else is going to have that opportunity. It will open next week on the 11th on Netflix worldwide, and everyone will be able to tune in and watch it at home, but it will not be screening in cinemas. So that is, it's a worthy discussion point, but I think it's also just a sign of the times, because we've been seeing this for years now with since the pandemic, where there's been such a focus on streaming content, particularly in Korea, but elsewhere as well. And so it's just normal to see to see this kind of evolution. And honestly, Uprising, I've seen the film and I really liked it. So it's not a question, not an issue of quality, shall we say. And there's a lot of pedigree involved with it. So you have director Park Chan-wook involved as a co-writer and as a producer. So in those ways, it makes sense. And it's just a way of getting big names here on the red carpet, which is important for a festival of Busan's stature to do. So, you know, there are pros and cons about it, but it sparks discussion. And if people are talking about the festival, that also means that it remains relevant. So all in all, perhaps not so bad.
Right, it's definitely a fresh shift there. Now, the festival opening with Uprising, like you said, and it will close with Singaporean director Eric Koo's Spirit World. Now, you have to tell us who decides which films to open and close BIFF, and what is it based on, really?
It's something we always kind of wonder this ourselves. I mean, obviously, when it comes to the competition sections, the other sections of the festival, there are a lot of submissions, and there are review teams that are going through submissions and programmers that eventually decide which films will screen in the festival. Right. When it comes to the high-profile opening or closing slot, it's a bit different. So these are not competition screenings. These are more high-profile gala screenings. And so there has to be a mixture of, you know, what is the festival looking for? You know, are programmers choosing these films? Or just like, is the festival director choosing it? Is it a mixture of people? Most likely, it's probably a decision by committee. And so you want sort of a mix of something that's going to get people excited. People are going to write and talk about it, and hopefully it will help you attract some big stars to liven up your red carpet, and so you can get a lot of media coverage. And so, as I've kind of already mentioned, even though Uprising might be considered a controversial choice, because of that controversy, it is getting people very excited, and they're talking, whether they agree or disagree with the selection. So in that sense, I think that makes it a very successful pick as an opening film, because it's also sparking a discussion about what is the meaning of cinema in 2024. Right. And so in that sense, I think it was quite a clever decision. So, you know, Eric Koo for the Singaporean closer, that's a more traditional kind of film that you would have at Busan, and an Asian film premiere from a notable film director, and that's kind of what we tend to see. So in this year, Busan is kind of, you know, playing it both ways. You're playing the kind of bigger, popular, kind of sexy choice, and the more traditional, high-profile art house Asian title. So, you know, I think that's kind of the mixture the kind of ideal mixture you want with opening and closing films. But it is kind of ultimately a mystery of who chooses the opening and closing, and what the exact decision process that goes into that.
Well, Piers, you are down in Busan. What else is drawing attention at this year's edition? And also, before you leave us, do give us one must-watch film that you think we all have to watch.
Well, one film that's definitely been getting people excited is RM, Right People, Wrong Place, which is a documentary film that chronicles the making behind the album Right Place, Wrong Person, which is the second album by RM, who, of course, is the leader of the hugely, sensationally, globally successful K-pop outfit BTS. So that's gotten people very, very excited. I believe that it's sold, you know, the tickets sold out in probably a record time, and it's only screening once. So people, you know, who have that ticket to that, probably very, very happy. I myself do not have a ticket to that, so I'll have to wait and see it later. But there are a lot of exciting things screening here. I mean, speaking of Netflix, Hellbound season 2 is opening here. We have actress Kim Min-ha, who became kind of a global sensation thanks to the show Pachinko, based on the best-selling novel. And she has her first 2 post-Pachinko roles are screening at the festival. They both world premiered yesterday. One of them is the film, a thriller called The Girl with Closed Eyes, and one is a K-drama in which she appears alongside Bong Myung. It's called Way Back Home. I saw that yesterday. I absolutely love it. That'll be opening on TVing in a few months. And so I really highly highly recommend that one. But if people are looking for more smaller titles, in terms of indie films, which is kind of, the beating heart of the Busan Film Festival, new discoveries, there's a film called Kike Will Hit a Home Run, which is the second film from the director Park Song-yeol, who made Hot Day, Cold at Night, also a premiere at Busan a few years ago. It's a story of a normal couple kind of struggling to survive. It's very funny and droll and wonderful. Anybody who likes the Finnish director Aki Kaurismäki will absolutely adore Kike Will Hit a Home Run. So yeah, a mixture of very exciting titles across the board this year at Busan.
Alrighty, Piers, thank you so much for your time this morning. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
South Korea's exports of agricultural goods reached a record high during the first 9 months of this year, on the back of robust demand for Korean instant noodles, snacks, and processed rice products. According to the Agriculture Ministry, exports of agricultural goods rose more than 8% on-year, amounting to $7.38 billion between January and September. Exports of instant noodles, or ramen in Korean, jumped around 30% on-year to a record high of $938 million. Processed rice products such as kimbap also soared more than 41% and have already surpassed last year's total sales. Exports of snacks gained more than 15% on-year, while those of beverages also climbed more than 13%. The 18th typhoon of the season, Typhoon Krathon, made landfall in southwestern Taiwan on Thursday. Despite being weakened, winds exceeded 140 kilometers per hour and damage was widespread. Lee Seung-jae reports.
Cargo containers loaded at a port in Taiwan were being tossed around like fallen leaves. Shop windows were completely torn off, unable to withstand the powerful winds brought by Typhoon Krathon. The 18th typhoon of the season, Krathon, made landfall in Kaohsiung City in southwestern Taiwan on Thursday. Despite the typhoon weakening upon landfall, winds of up to 140 kilometers per hour slammed the island, damaging power lines and causing 100,000 households to lose power. Schools and workplaces were closed all over the island, while domestic flights were also suspended. More than 10,000 residents were forced to evacuate. The Taiwanese authorities say at least 2 people are dead, while 210 people were injured. 1 person is reported missing. The slow-moving typhoon is causing more damage to the affected areas, while causing flooding in some parts of Kaohsiung. However, the typhoon is forecast to move northward and weaken further into a tropical depression by Friday, bringing rain to neighboring countries, including here in South Korea. The Kaohsiung local government has been especially careful in its disaster preparations after Typhoon Thelma killed 37 people in 1977. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.
South Korean pianist Lim Yun-chan won the Gramophone Classical Music Awards for the piano category in London on Wednesday. 2 of his albums, Let's Transcendental Etude and Chopin's Etude, were shortlisted, with Chopin's Etude winning by a single vote. Im is the first South Korean to win the Gramophone Piano Award and the first ever to have 2 of his albums shortlisted. The 20-year-old pianist was also named the Gramophone Young Artist of the Year 2024 for his flair and probing musicianship and phenomenal technique. The Gramophone Classical Music Awards began in 1977 and honors the most significant albums of the year in the classical record industry.
Good morning. I'm Kim Si-young, and this is The World Now. We start in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where at least 78 people have died after a ferry on Lake Kivu capsized. Now, the ferry was carrying 278 people when it capsized on Thursday morning, local time, of which at least 58 people have been rescued so far. According to South Kivu's governor, Jean-Jacques Purisi, on Thursday, the death toll may increase, as he said that it'll take at least 3 days to get the exact numbers because not all the bodies have been found yet. The boat was traveling from Minova in South Kivu province to Goma in North Kivu province. But overloaded with passengers, it capsized and sank only some 100 meters away from its destination. Now recently, many more are crossing Lake Kivu by boat to reach Goma to avoid land travel, as the region in the east of the country is prone to armed conflict between the rebels and the Congolese government forces. While Thursday's Lake Kivu accident saw a high death toll, such incidents are commonplace in the Central African country, where overcrowded boats are often to blame. OpenAI has raised some $6.6 billion in a fundraising round, with investors valuing the ChatGPT creator at $157 billion. While OpenAI did not name its investors in Wednesday's press release, the investment round was reportedly led by a US venture capital fund, Thrive Capital, as well as others, including an Abu Dhabi-based investment firm, MGX. Earlier this year, OpenAI saw a valuation of $80 billion, already almost tripling its value of $29 billion from 2023, with the viral growth of its AI language model, ChatGPT. OpenAI, which is reportedly looking at a loss of some $5 billion this year, wrote in a blog post on Wednesday that the new funding will allow us to double down on our leadership in frontier AI research, as it would increase compute capacity to solve hard problems. The United Kingdom on Thursday announced that it is giving up sovereignty over the Chagos Islands back to the Mauritius in a historic move that will allow displaced residents to return home after decades. The deal, which the UK and Mauritius announced jointly, will include the tropical atoll of Diego Garcia, currently used by the US government as a military base. While Mauritius has full sovereignty over the archipelago, Britain will be authorized to exercise rights over the Diego Garcia, guaranteeing the operation of the US base for the next 99 years. The British Foreign Minister David Lammy said in a statement that today's agreement secures this vital military base for the future, adding that it will shut down any possibility of the Indian Ocean being used as a dangerous illegal migration route to the UK. Now lastly, Miyazaki Airport in southwest Japan was closed on Wednesday after a US bomb, likely to have been dropped during the Second World War, exploded near the runway. Now, CCTV camera footage captured the moment of the explosion, which a Japanese Transport Ministry official said had left a crater 7 meters wide and 1 meter deep in a taxiway next to the runway. A bomb disposal team was later dispatched from Japan's Ground Self-Defense Force, which identified the bomb as American-made. While almost 90 flights were cancelled, Japan's Chief Cabinet Secretary Yoshimasa Hayashi said Wednesday there was no threat of a second explosion. The airport resumed operations on Thursday morning.
Good morning. It's a brisk start to the day with morning temperatures hovering in the low teens in central parts of Korea. I mean, it was only a couple of weeks ago we got out of the tropical nights. Then temperatures will rise fast with plenty of sunshine. Afternoon highs will be between 1 and 8 degrees higher than yesterday, topping out at 25 degrees Celsius here in Seoul, Gwangju, and Busan this afternoon. Meanwhile, morning rain on Jeju will turn brighter in the afternoon. Then brace for some minor impact from Typhoon Krathon as it weakens to a tropical depression. It could drop frequent showers in the east of Gangwon-do and southern regions through early next week. Meanwhile, morning temperatures will get warmer next week. Humidity has gotten much lower as well. Many probably have started turning on the humidifier. Be sure to keep these safety tips by keeping a safe distance of at least 2 meters from the humidifier, while ventilating the room every 3 hours for at least 20 minutes. That's Korea for you, and here's a look at the international weather conditions.
That's all we have for our morning edition of Arirang News. We'll be back at noon Korea time. Thanks for watching.
K-drama, the charm of Korea that captivates the world. Love like a K-drama. A story of us where hope and despair coexist. Fun and refreshingly satisfying. K-dramas carry warmth and move people's hearts. Meet the fascinating stories of Korea through K-dramas.
This time.
I'm your host, Gina Kim.
진짜 한국에선 어떻게 먹는지 알려줄까?
K-바비큐? 신김치랑 먹어야지.
치킨? 치맥 페스티벌은 처음이지?
김치? 종류만큼 먹는 법도 가지각색.
김밥? 시장에선, 산에선, 바다에선 이렇게.
국밥?
취향 따라, 입맛 따라. 이런 한국, 와보지 않고는 모를걸? 요즘 한국에선 어떻게 노는지 알려줄까?
한국에선 아이돌이 되어볼 수도 인생 컬러를 찾을 수도 있지. 제일 핫한 포토 스팟은 여기. 한국은 분명 너에게 새로운 영감을 줄 거야.
이런 한국 와보지 않고는 모를걸?
We are here to bring you a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bring news just for you. It's Friday, October 4th here in Seoul. I'm Song Yujin, and this is News Generation. Today we're joined by Kwon Ji-yeon.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. And Brooke Prince.
Hello, happy to be back.
Great to have you back. Now, both are here to speak on behalf of those in their 20s and 30s. Now, without further ado, we're going to move on to our main discussion of the day. Today we have another episode on K-beauty. And this time we're going to focus on a specific trend within the K-beauty industry. Now, to start off, I want to ask our panelists which K-beauty brands or products are international consumers particularly interested in these days?
Well, Olive Young analyzed purchasing trends among foreign consumers and found that products from small and medium-sized enterprises have surged in popularity over the past 5 years.
Oh.
There's been a noticeable rise in interest in fresh, up-and-coming rookie brands. That's quite interesting. So according to Olive Young Global, which is the brand's shopping website, preferences for K-beauty products vary by country. In the UK, the focus is on improving skin texture, while in Japan, inner beauty products such as oral, hair and body care take center stage. And in the US and in the USA, sun care is the key interest, with Korean sun care products being especially popular for their gentle formulations and diverse textures.
It's really interesting how rookie brands or small and mid-sized companies are gaining attention. Maybe that's because the K-beauty market has grown significantly, so international consumers are now looking into what is like new and up and coming these days.
That's right.
Right, so this is definitely a big change. Now, what I also found interesting about the data that Ji-hyun mentioned is how various different K-beauty products, types of them, are trending in different countries. So what are your thoughts on this, Brooke?
Well, I was here the last time that we covered K-beauty, but I think it's one of those topics that we could probably discuss every day on NewsGen and not run out of things to talk about. And I think that's a testament to the industry itself. It's always changing and evolving. It's very exciting. And I think Korea in general is just a place where you have to be willing to experiment with your look and aesthetic. And it's very easy to do that when you have many high quality products to use. For me personally, one of my favorites is the Cushion Foundation. So I never used this before I came to Korea.
Oh, really?
But oh my gosh, it's been a holy grail for me ever since I discovered it, because I've always struggled with dry skin. But Cushion Foundation is very good for people with dry skin, and it gives you that glowy effect that K-beauty is really known for. So it's no surprise to me that many international customers as well are looking into products to get that look, to achieve that K-beauty glass skin look that's so famous.
Right. So far we've talked about how rookie brands are gaining more attention, and also how different types of K-beauty products are gaining popularity in different countries. Now, expanding on our discussion, we're going to take a look at a new trend in the K-beauty industry, which has garnered huge popularity. But I want to start by asking our panelists once again, what are some of the must-have K-beauty items for fans of K-beauty all around the world these days?
I think there are so many to describe.
It's really hard to list them all, right?
Indeed, indeed. Well, K-beauty items that have become must-haves for young people globally include popular products inspired by K-pop idols, stars and trends. Aespa's Karina's rimless glasses, Nugent's Y2K fashion, Hanny's bob haircut, and Blackpink's Jennie's glass blush are just a few examples. And BTS V is particularly known as a beauty K-beauty icon. An Australian magazine, Vogue, even highlighted his flawless skin. So clean.
Right.
So after V was seen applying lip balm for just 3 seconds on TV. It was not 5. It
3
was
seconds.
3 seconds on TV. The product completely sold out.
Wow.
So it's completely official. K-beauty fans can shop faster than we can apply lip balm.
That is power. The power of influence.
It is indeed. So once again, we're seeing this huge influence of K-pop and the Korean wave influencing how consumers are shopping within the K-beauty industry. Now, is this trend also what you've witnessed, Brooke, as well?
Definitely. I think if you're a fan of K-pop and you've been following any particular group, you'll start to notice that for every comeback, they have a different concept. They love to change things up. So they might dye their hair or do their makeup differently or wear unique, eye-catching clothing. And these pieces often go on to become viral amongst young people. And one product that I really want to highlight today is colored contact lenses. So these have been made popular by the likes of stars like BTS, aespa, Blackpink, New Jeans, and of course, I have to mention IVE's Jang Won-young. She is one of the biggest trendsetters in the industry.
She's a global celebrity now.
Yes, everything she touches turns to gold. So one of the brands that she is an ambassador for recently, this past March, launched in Los Angeles, and it has seen remarkable sales for its colored contact lenses. So that's just one of the many products that just flies off the shelves the moment people see their favorite celebrity wearing it.
Right. And now back here in Korea, with more people interested in Korean beauty brands and Korean products, a new kind of tourism has emerged in the country, which is called beauty tourism. So I want to ask our panelists, have you also heard about this type of traveling?
Yes, I did. Well, I've heard that beauty tourism is quite famous in Korea. Beauty tourism has really taken off here thanks to the rise of K-beauty and K-pop. So visitors are not just coming for sightseeing, for a Gyeongbokgung Palace, but for cosmetic treatments, skincare routines, and even shopping at K-beauty hotspots like
Olive Young
or Olive Young, yes, which is located sometimes in Myeongdong or Hongdae. And these days, beauty tours include not only salons and makeup shops, but also traditional treatments like Daemiri, or Korean exfoliation scrub.
That's unique.
Have you ever heard of this before?
I did.
You did? Yeah. Have you tried this before?
Not yet, but I'm willing to try it out.
Really? So even one of my foreign friends came to Korea specifically just for beauty treatments.
Wow. So I want to ask you, Brooke, because we know that you have a lot of friends from abroad. Did some of your friends actually visit Korea to try out beauty tourism?
I've definitely talked to people who have this experience, and I see online too a lot of YouTube videos with titles like getting my hair done in Korea or getting a skincare treatment in Korea. It's very popular, and I totally understand why, because the products are extremely effective and they're also very affordable.
Right.
I mentioned earlier the colored contact lenses. So a cool tip, if anyone out there wants to try them, if you want to find the right shade lens for you, you have to know which colors look best with your skin tone. I bet you know where I'm going with this.
Personal color.
Yes. A very popular K-beauty trend here in Korea is personal color analysis, and many visitors have come to Korea to get this service done. So if you want to try colored contact lenses, I'd recommend coming, getting your personal color analysis done, and then finding the best color shade for you. I think that will be a very popular beauty tourism course for anyone looking to visit Korea.
Yeah, I think the best starting course for beauty tourism in Korea is maybe getting your personal color analysis, and after that going to a cosmetic store, getting your hair dyed, and picking the best color lens for you. So Brooke gave a really good idea for those who are interested in beauty tourism. Now, as we're talking about the latest K-beauty trends here on NewsGen today, we also asked our viewers which K-beauty trends they're most interested in. And here's what 3 of them said. If we look at the comments, Benny D97 says, for me, the K-beauty trend is UV protection because the usage of UV protective patches would help to prevent sunburn. XOXODNSOO says, I like Korean skincare products. They are made of organic and high-quality ingredients, and their focus is on skin health itself. Sunny J99 says, Korea has so many health foods such as fermented vinegar, ABC juice, and hongsam extract. They are delicious and nutritious, so I can take care of both health and beauty. So a lot of our viewers are indeed fans of K-beauty. For example, sunscreen. We've also saw very organic, high-quality materials or ingredients used in Korean cosmetics, not to mention healthy K-beauty products that can take care of your inner health and inner beauty. Now, for more insights on K-beauty, we're now going to invite an American millennial to our talks right after this break. So today we're joined by Brittany Schmidt, an American millennial. Welcome back to the show, Brittany.
Hi, it's good to be back.
Great to have you again. So this is our first question for you. We've talked earlier about how K-pop stars have popularized the use of color contact lenses, especially in the United States. So do you think this trend is really catching on in your country?
Yes, I really do. I think that historically colored contacts have been popular in the States, mainly among cosplayers, but I think the main influence that idols have had on US beauty and makeup trends when it comes to contacts is the use of circle lenses. So now not only can you change the color of your eyes, but create the illusion of bigger and brighter eyes as well.
Interesting. Well, Brittany, do you feel like a lot of the interest in K-beauty comes from younger people wanting to look like their favorite K-pop idols or follow their styles?
Well, I'm sure there are some people who want to look exactly like their favorite idol. I think it's mostly just certain aspects of K-beauty that Americans want to follow, wanting the glassy, flawless skin, unique makeup styles, and even body types. That's why Korean skincare routines and products are becoming more and more popular in the States. But there are downsides to wanting to completely imitate these looks. While it's great to want to take care of yourself and be a better version of you, even idols can get bad skin days. You know, they have teams of professional makeup artists to make them look flawless, and the diets that they're on aren't always very healthy. So there has to be a line of what's realistically obtainable for the average person when trying to follow these routines.
Hi, Britt. I'm so happy I'm the one that gets to interview you today.
Hi,
Brooke. Our last question is, in Korea, there's this growing trend of beauty tourism where people visit makeup shops, salons, or even plastic surgeons to try out the latest K-beauty trends. I already know the answer to this, but would you ever be interested in trying it out?
So, as Brooke knows, one of the first things that I did when I moved to Korea was I got a nose job. So in America, there's still a bit of a taboo when it comes to plastic surgery. And on top of that, it's very expensive. It costs less to fly to Korea, get all these procedures done, stay for a week, and fly back to America than it would be to get the same procedures done in America. So that's how much more accessible and affordable all of these procedures and surgeries are in Korea. And I honestly think that Korea will see even more of an influx in medical and beauty tourism in the next couple of years, thanks to the increasing popularity of K-pop and K-beauty.
I see. All right, Brittany, thank you so much for your time today. As always, we really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Right, so as Brittany just mentioned, she said how it's expected that Korea will see more influx of people coming to the country to experience K-beauty tourism. So there must be a reason for that besides the influence of the Korean wave, K-pop stars, and K-culture. So I want to ask you, what do you think makes K-beauty brands or beauty products, what sets them apart from others?
Well, I do believe that K-beauty products stand out for their innovative ingredients and advanced formulations, often focused on hydration and natural glow. They're also known for being affordable without compromising on quality. And also, K-beauty treats skincare as a vital part of self-care, a concept that connects with audiences every single day.
Right, because if you have a strong base or a strong foundation, that is, if you have healthy skin, then I think that kind of is the best building block to like have that flawless look when you do your makeup. Right, so what do you think are some of the other strengths of K-beauty, Brooke?
Well, I think one of the comments you read earlier really illustrated what I think is the best about K-beauty products, which is that it's about your skin health. So people forget that the skin is the canvas.
Right.
And so when you're putting on makeup, if you have skin troubles already, you're kind of just covering up the problem. But K-beauty products are about getting to the root of that problem and resolving it. And I talked about it last time, but my skin has just completely changed since living in Korea and changing my routine, utilizing all of the products that Korea has to offer. I think it has such great ingredients and, again, very affordable. So if you're looking to, change your routine and fix the problem rather than just covering it up, I think that's what K-beauty has to offer.
And I think that this naturally leads to my next question for you guys. Are there any specific products that you would like to recommend to our viewers who are new to K-beauty?
I think it'll take an hour to explain all of those, but I highly recommend a good sunblock, sunscreen to all of the audiences.
It's important these days,
It's quite important these days. Well, not these days, but quite for a long time. It's quite important for protecting your skin, and you can find plenty of affordable options in areas like Myeongdong and Hongdae as well. In fact, many expats, many foreigners often ask Koreans about their youthful appearance. How old are you? You look so young. You look like 10 years old now. And many experts say one reason is their consistent use of sunscreen, sunblocks. And many Koreans seem to make sunblock an essential part of their daily routine. Sometimes they apply them, they wear them while they're at home.
Yeah, even when they don't go outside, they say it's important to wear sunscreen. So I think this is a very big tip for all of those who are watching. Wear sunscreen.
Every day.
Every day, whether if it's the summer or winter or whether you go outside or you stay indoors.
Correct.
So Juyeon recommends sunscreen to our viewers, right? What about you, Brooke?
Yes, well, one of my skincare sins is that I never wore sunscreen before I came to Korea. So
I'm surprised because you have so good skin.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm very fair, so I would always burn, but I only wore sunscreen when we went to the beach for vacation. So nowadays, I religiously use sunscreen every single day, and I think it's improved my skin a lot. I would also like to recommend, I always recommend snail mucin. It sounds a little weird to some
You mentioned it during our last episode, right?
I am such a big fan. It's absolutely changed my skin. Also, serums, essences, all of the face washes here are really fantastic. Just in general, all of the skincare products. More than the makeup products, I think the skincare is just so good. But if you're looking for makeup in particular, the cushion foundation, like I've been talking about, great for dry skin. Definitely try it.
Right, so cushion foundation for makeup and also snail mucin for skincare.
I stand by it.
That's a recommendation from Brooke. Now, wrapping up our discussion today, looking ahead, what kind of new or existing K-beauty trends do you think will become huge?
Well, I do believe that vegan cosmetics will continue to gain traction as the global market grows steadily. According to a report from Grand View Research, this market has been increasing at an average rate of 6.3% annually since 2016. And in South Korea, it has expanded nearly fourfold from 160 billion won in 2013 to 150 billion won in 2022, with projection approaching 1 trillion won by 2025 next year. So as interest in ethical consumption rises, K-beauty brands are likely to introduce more products to meet this demand. And after all, looking good while being good is the new trend.
Right, because these days I think that we see a lot of products that have like vegan labels on, which mean that they use vegan ingredients. Now, a quick question for you, Jin. Do you also regularly use these vegan cosmetic products?
Yes, I do. Yes. Whenever I have to buy some cosmetics, I look at the label. Is it vegan or not?
So vegan may be the new huge trend in the world of K-beauty.
Correct.
Now, what do you expect, Brooke?
Well, we've talked a lot today about makeup and skincare, but I don't want to forget about hair. So I think Korea does really great hair, and particularly it's really popular to get a perm here. And one of the most popular ones, the most viral trend, is the hippie perm. It's so cute. I really wanted to get it.
Can you describe it, please?
It's kind of like a poodle. Like it's like
very curly.
Very curly. I really wanted to try it, so I went to the salon and I asked for it, but they took one look at my hair and said, too risky. They told me that apparently it's better if you've never dyed your hair before to get a perm because it can be very damaging. So if you've never dyed your hair before, then maybe a perm would be better for you. And it's not just the hippie perm. There's also the S curl and the C curl that Korea is very known for. Many Korean celebrities get these types of perms. So I predict that those will be the next viral K-beauty trend.
And as much as people are interested in styling their hair, I think that hair care products will also catch on because inevitably your hair gets damaged when you do either dye your hair or you get a perm. So there are a diverse range of hair essence and also treatment products that come from Korean beauty brands. So do you also use them regularly, Brooke?
I do. I always ask for recommendations to help my hair because I've dyed it every color under the rainbow, so it needs a lot of help.
Right. So vegan products and also hair styling and hair products. We'll see how these trends or these products become huge in the global market, and we'll bring you the latest trends on K-beauty continuously here on NewsGen. And that's all from us today, but NewsGen will be back next Monday. And before we go, a quick announcement. Starting next week, NewsGen will air at 10:30 in Korea time due to our regular fall program reshuffle. So don't forget to tune in at our new time, which is 10:30 a.m. Korea time. Once again, special thanks today to Kwon Ji-yeon.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And Brooke Prince.
Thank you. Had a great time.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for watching. And we hope you have a nice weekend. We are News Generation.
요즘 한국에선 어떻게 노는지 알려줄까?
한국에선 아이돌이 되어볼 수도 인생 커널을 찾을 수도 있지. 제일 핫한 포토 스팟은 여기. 한국은 분명 너에게 새로운 영감을 줄 거야.
이런 한국 와보지 않고는 모를걸? 진짜 한국에선 어떻게 먹는지 알려줄까?
K-바비큐? 신김치랑 먹어야지.
치킨? 치맥 페스티벌은 처음이지?
김치? 종류만큼